Hello and welcome to Stupid Ancient History with Midgley
and Taylor and our expert, non-expert and special guest James, Lord High Commander of the Science Cupboard, first of his name and knower of nothing.
Hello.
As always, we're wearing togas. It's a bit chilly today, but you know, the windows are open, that's fine. And today we're looking at the transition from Tullus Hostilius to Ancus Marcius. Previously on Stupid Ancient History, we've been looking at the very early stages of the foundations of Rome, from Romulus founding the city on the Palatine Hill.
After being saved from the river by a she-wolf.
Or a prostitute. Never letting it go.
What are you going to do if we don't mention it again?
I'll just bring it up.
Fair enough.
You can't stop me.
We can try. Then, after 37 years in power, he's replaced by Numa Pompilius, a Sabine who went about reorganising Rome, making them more obedient to the gods and a lot more peaceful.
He also built the Temple of Janus, introduced a 12-month calendar, and made the priest of Jupiter a full-time job.
He was pretty boring, though.
He was a bit boring, yeah.
He wasn't like a mad nutter like the rest of them.
No.
Oh, perfectly sensible. But
He
talking of
wasn't
nutters...
like, fight. He was
No.
more like, pray.
Yeah. Talking of nutters, and then Tullus Hostilius, we saw Rome's third king declaring war on the Albans.
And then getting a bunch of triplets to do his fighting for him.
And then they knifed the sister.
And then they knifed the sister. And finally, we saw the Alban king, Metius Fufetius, pulled apart by chariots because of his betrayal of Rome.
Which I think is perfectly okay.
Did we ever have someone with as epic a name as Metius Fufetius again?
Not just yet.
I'd also just like to point out at this point, actually, I saw the lovely portrayal of me that you put on the last.
You mean that photo we took of you eating chicken?
I'd just like to put out a disclaimer that is not what I resemble in any way, shape or form. Although I do not look like a supermodel, I do not look like that. Thank you very much.
And if you're not sure what we're talking about, watch the previous episode.
Yes, do, definitely.
So we're still on Tullus Hostilius, aren't we? He likes a bit of a fight, doesn't he?
He does. He was definitely more warlike, I would say, than Romulus.
He was already a lunatic.
Yeah.
Did he like doing anything else?
Well, we're not done yet.
Okay. Go on.
Well, he also goes to war against the Sabines.
They're part of Rome, though, aren't they?
Yeah, but he doesn't mind kicking off even with his own people, it seems. He's not bothered, he just wants to fight.
So he's ripped Metius Fufetius
In
to
half,
pieces,
yep.
burned their city to the ground.
Yep. Not the
And
temples.
But he's not had enough yet.
No.
Okay.
So he goes to war with the Sabines and he pretty much just defeats them.
That's it. Just beats him.
Yeah, I mean...
there's no epic, description. That's it.
No, just turns up, sorts them out, defeats them. So anyway, with this ever-increasing number of wars...
And all the Albans now having to move to Rome.
Yeah, and that. So with all this chaos going on, there's a large number of people who've suddenly found themselves homeless.
What happens when you burn the houses down?
It's not like it was a surprise.
Mass migration,
Well,
destruction
yeah.
of towns.
You've got a lot of mass migration for the time going on. And they're all homeless and looking for somewhere to go.
He burned the houses down.
Rome's the only city left standing. Anyway, to avoid any kind of large-scale social unrest and lots of people turning up in his city going, "You burnt my house down."
Does he not just build them some new houses, like an early form of council house?
Nearly. I mean, what he does, he does give newly conquered lands away to these homeless people.
Not Sabine land.
Yeah, some of it is.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I mean, so he gives away them land to the people to make them happy.
So does he use this as another excuse to go to war? I've got all these extra people now. I need more space. Let's go conquer something else.
I think it's more of an afterthought.
Right. Okay.
And also, that wouldn't make me happy if someone torched my house and then went, "Oh, but there's some land." I'd be like, "Great, where's the house? Let's live outside." Sorry, no.
Well, but would you argue with Tullus?
Well, no, but I mean...
There you go.
Yeah.
So either way, he's got all these people that have been displaced. He replaces them. It also helps him expand his control over this new territory because rather than just being open land, they've got settlers on.
What's Roman population like now? Is it still very much male-centric, or do they have a
They've got
a lot of women now.
They've got a lot of women. They've got a gender balance, and a lot of people looking sad that the house is on fire.
So apart from rehoming people whose houses he torched, did he do anything?
Well, with all these new people coming into Rome, it brought even more problems, as you might expect.
Okay.
So there was particular kind of political problems that he had to sort out.
Okay. Like what?
You sounded excited by this.
Well, I mean, after just a constant campaign of war, I don't really know how Hostilius is going to handle political problems. Probably by stabbing something.
Is that what you're hoping?
You probably. I wouldn't say hope, expecting.
Yeah.
With brutality and strength of character.
Yes.
So obviously, all these new kind of Roman people wanted to have some say in what went on. So
like
the Senate,
not burning the house.
Yeah, like please don't burn down anyone else's house. So the Senate had to expand, and new senators were appointed to represent these new districts of Rome.
Okay, so
More politicians.
So just the what was Metis for Fetis' lot called?
Albans.
Just the Albans or the Sabines?
The Albans, the Sabines, the randomly on fire people.
Okay.
So, and obviously, with all of these new senators, Tullus had to put them somewhere. They were just getting in the way. They were everywhere.
Okay.
So he built the Senate House, or the Curia Hostilia, which is on the site of the one that's still in Rome. There's a nice picture of the one in Rome.
Yeah, it's a lovely
on the
building.
screen.
Very nice.
It's a bit square.
It is very square.
It is
Of all the
square,
buildings
but
in the Forum, it's probably the least fun.
It's also one of the most intact, though.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is not the one Tullus built.
Yeah.
It's a later Roman addition.
do we know what the one that Tullus built looked like? Are there any descriptions of it anywhere?
Not that are reliable.
Is this
No.
the Senate House with the fun dual brother-sister marriage and all the murder you've told me about?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah. But it's not the same one. But,
Yeah.
it's not as Senate houses go. It's all right. It's just a bit plain.
Fair enough. How exciting do you want a Senate House to be?
Very.
The excitement is what goes on inside.
Don't think that's true.
That was said with no sarcasm whatsoever.
Can't even go one episode, can we?
This sounds like he's actually doing all right. He's almost like being an actual king. He stopped murdering and setting people on fire for 10 minutes and sorted out like the political system.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's doing all right at this whole kinging thing. That is until...
there's always an until.
So Livy says, word was brought to the king and senators that it rained stones on the Alban mounts. As this could barely be believed, on persons being sent to check, a thick shower of stones fell from heaven in their sight.
It's not a good sign, is it?
It's not, but I was wondering, is this actual stones, or is it not just hailstone? And
Well,
it's kind of
according to Livy,
translation.
it's actual stones.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all.
Why are they bothered about the Alban Mountain if they just set everything on fire?
That's probably why.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It's gone. Get over it.
Well, the people chucking stones from above.
Yeah, so obviously this isn't a particularly good sign, would you agree, James?
I mean, I'm not great at reading omens, but probably not.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. And the Romans thought that it wasn't a particularly good sign because it happened near the Alban Mount. So they thought it was a punishment for what he'd done to Alba Longa.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So as a result, the Romans and the Albans have a bit of a panic. How are they going to fix this? So they decide they're going to set about holding a festival, celebrating all the Alban gods and hoping it'll all just go away.
Did it work?
Not long after, they were afflicted with a disease.
Yep. So it went so well that they got plague.
Is this not just like something that got spread round at their massive party?
Well, possibly. But either way.
A bit like Corona.
Well, I was thinking, social gatherings.
They didn't limit their numbers, did they, to 6? No.
they
They
certainly
mix
didn't.
bubbles.
They make bubbles. Ah!
Oh, so they get plague.
Not non-specific, just plague.
Just plague. And yeah, it comes on. But initially, Tullus doesn't seem that bothered about these events, and he's still deciding whether he's going to start another war.
With who? And with what?
The plague.
Yeah.
So he's not bothered. He's thinking, oh, let's have another war.
Until
Okay.
he
Okay.
got the plague.
Yes. Of course he
Yes,
did.
yes. Listen to that in James's voice. Yes.
I mean, I don't wish the plague on anyone, but he kind of sounds like he deserves it.
He does, I suppose. Yeah, you're right.
So anyway, now that he's got the plague, there's no miracle cure for him. So what he does, he sets about performing the various rituals that Numa had laid out about what to do in case of plague, pray to these gods, hoping that the gods will come to his aid.
Okay.
And he thought it was going all right
Yeah.
until he botched it and his house got struck by lightning.
That's
So long,
And that was the end of him.
That's it.
That's it. He's
So
gone.
what? Did he also get struck by
Oh, yeah.
lightning, or did
Yeah.
his house burn down? Or?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, struck by lightning, house burnt down, so long Tullus.
Some would
Amazing.
say that revenge is a dish best served cold, wouldn't they? And
Well,
that's
best-
our piping hot in this case.
Oh my god.
Yeah, lightning.
Went pretty well for him then.
Right up until the end. So, after 32 years in power and a lightning-based incident, Rome is once again thrown back into an interregnum.
Ah,
Yeah.
how does this one go?
Well, they soon decide on a man called Ancus Marcius.
Why? What's he done?
Well,
Is he raised by a prostitute wolf? What did he
We
do?
don't think so. We think that he was raised by a giraffe. No, my joking. So it wasn't really. So he was a grandson of Numa.
Did he inherit his grandfather's dullness?
Not completely. Livy describes him as having something of Numa and something of Romulus too.
Okay.
So he'd
Not
kill
like
you.
he's got like Numa's foot and Romulus's arm.
No, so he'd kill you and then he'd pray and say sorry for doing it afterwards.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But he doesn't really do that much, does he?
No.
No.
So why are we talking about it?
Well, he's still one of the kings.
Yeah. Is this why he's getting half an episode?
Yeah, this is why he's getting half an episode. We couldn't spin it out to a full episode, even if we went on some massive
I
tangent.
mean, we probably could, knowing us.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be worth listening.
It wouldn't.
Yeah,
You
did
wouldn't get much
he
from it.
tell me someone wrote in the comments that they like us because we don't ramble?
Yeah,
They've been listening to the wrong podcast.
yeah. So anyway, he does some things, just not a lot. And he starts quite well because he starts by standard attacking other settlements and expanding Rome.
Of course he does. So he's not that much like Numa then.
No, but it's standard stuff for Roman kings.
Yeah, this is getting a bit repetitive.
Yeah,
This
sorry about that.
is just routine almost.
Yeah, sorry. We'll move on. But to be fair, one thing Ancus does do, however, he sets about righting the wrongs of the previous reigns and fixing all the problems.
Okay.
Like plague.
Forgot about that. Between lightning murder, I'd forgotten about the
Lightning
plague.
murder. So,
Well, it's murder. Zeus had something to do with that.
yeah, probably. So,
I know
where
Jupiter. Yeah.
Same guy. So don't strike us down for using the wrong names, please. So, whereas Tullus had botched all the religious ceremonies, lightninged,
Yeah.
being the grandson of Numa, Ancus Marcius gets it right.
Yeah, and lo and behold, the plague goes away. As if by magic.
Just like
That's
that.
very convenient.
Really. And also, to make sure the Romans don't get these things wrong again, he has laws and religious customs written on wooden boards, and these are placed around the city, so everyone knows if there's plague in town, this is what you do.
I think that
Just-
seems
just-
quite smart.
Just a good pray.
I mean,
The
if
right kind of
we
prayer.
could
Right,
pray
okay.
away Corona, I would go back to church.
They wouldn't have you back. Not after last time.
So is it all the gods or specific ones? Because Numa built temple to Janus, didn't he?
Yeah, I guess it'll be choose the right god for the right reason.
Yeah.
We're not given any more detail other than the boards are made of oak.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, and similarly, make sure the little things, like how you declare war, are done properly with agreement by the people and the gods, and there's a system you've got to follow.
No more just rando starting fights when you
No,
play.
you can't just rock up someone and start stabbing the gran.
This is why this guy gets half an episode. So, stop the plague, started a fight, is I'm done.
He does build some things as well.
Like what?
Well, he digs the Quirites Trench, which is basically a moat around the city.
Is that still there?
No.
No,
Okay.
it's not.
Is this replacing Romulus's wall that Remus just hopped over?
It's just a bit further down from the walls.
Okay.
I mean, the other thing, you'd think this would be something they would have dug before.
If you're constantly going to war with everyone else, no one else ever has an opportunity to attack you. So maybe that's why they've never needed him.
That's true, yeah. The other thing he does, he builds a stone bridge over the River Tiber.
Okay. Presumably it was a wooden one before that?
Yeah, they just got sick of walking through the river. It was,
Okay.
Yeah, so stone bridge over the Tiber.
So he's basically just been a bit of a renovation job, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Is he planning to flip Rome? Is he going to sell it off?
There is more, so he does do something else as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, so he's not just, tarting up things that...
We're already there.
Yeah, he's not like some dodgy contractor coming around going,
I mean,
I'll redo your plastering. And
It sounds like he is.
No, he's not that good. So he does build some things of his own. So he builds the first prison in Rome.
Okay.
So he builds a prison.
Wait, this was a city founded by thugs and thieves.
They were homesick.
Yeah, but why?
Isn't Rome
No.
basically a big prison colony?
Well, yeah, but I was going to say, just think about if you're a thief, what is the last thing that you want to build? Where's the last thing you want to go? Or place you want to go?
Well, not Rome, because everyone's just
Well, a prison, you wouldn't want to go to a prison, would you, if you're a thief? You've probably been trying to dodge going in a prison all the time anyway, so why do you want to build one where they can put you?
Exactly.
But to be fair, prison pulled apart by chariots.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean,
So anyway, the prison's for like little offences, like you stole
Okay.
that chicken, let's not rip him in half or
to
chop him
prison.
into pieces. Go to prison.
they not come up with the idea of like community service. You get imprisoned for stealing a chicken.
Or you have to walk under a stick.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh no, that's for murdering
that's
your
for knifing your
sister.
sister.
That's
They,
for-
they didn't build a prison for that. No. Stupid bloody Romans.
He also... Oh, God, calm down. He also establishes the port of Ostia.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
It is very nice.
Which shows just how much Rome has grown, that it now needs its own little port city to trade and bring things into the city.
So is that like a secondary little thing, or is that considered like part of Rome?
It's like part of Rome, but a sticky outy bit of Rome.
Yeah.
So it's like a port settlement.
Okay.
And also, James, more prostitutes.
Yeah.
What, because sailors and prostitutes just go hand in hand?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, yeah, there were at least 8 brothels that we know of in Ostia.
Wow.
Disclaimer, I am not saying that every member of the Navy or private shipping person uses prostitutes. I'd just like to say that. Because that's what you were implying. That's not what
That's
I meant.
what
That's
you
what you were
implied
implying.
with the words that came out of your mouth.
And also with glee and gusto. It's a good job this is just audio recording, because your face when you said "and prostitutes," it's like a kid at
I
Christmas.
thought we were going to get through one without a disclaimer, but no.
No. Normally the disclaimers are about her. Oh, it was you disclaiming yourself.
Yeah.
She's getting better.
I'm just doing it for you now.
Anyway, he builds a port, there's prostitutes, everyone's happy, especially
Okay.
Taylor. That's Ancus Marcius.
Cool.
Now, unusually, because we've done 2 kings in one podcast,
Yeah.
I think we should. It's fair to do them one at a time rather than compare the 2. So let's start with Tullus. Fitting end to Tullus, do we think?
A hilarious end to
Hilarious
Tullus.
end.
I think he got his comeuppance. I think that's karma biting him in the butt.
I think it's deliberate recreating of a nonsense story. Yeah, you've got Numa, who's all religious, and Tullus really doesn't do much with religion or anything other than war.
Yeah.
Right up until the point where he tries, gets it wrong, lightning in the bone.
Well, before he got, thunderbolted to death, you said they had that big festival for the Alban gods.
Yeah.
Are the Greek gods not like uniform through Italy at this point?
No.
Or- Right. Okay.
No, so the Albans have some gods that these Romans don't necessarily worship.
Right,
like,
okay.
Diana is one of them.
Okay, so they didn't try and use that as a reason, though. Like, look, what happens when you worship the wrong gods?
No, it's more the case. I think it's more about getting the balance. It's fine to be all warlike and stuff,
But you need to be pious.
but
as
you
well.
need to be pious as
Yeah.
well, like
Okay.
Romulus was. I mean, Romulus never got struck by no lightning.
It's just
we
literally,
Well, he did.
it's literally like a moral. Livy is, in some respects, he's just like a moral handbook, isn't he?
Yeah, he
Of
says he's
how
writing
to
good guys and
behave.
bad guys.
Yeah, how to behave to be a good Roman and a successful Roman ruler. It's like a blueprint in literary form.
Yeah. Is Diana an Artemis? I thought they'd be all over like a huntress sort of thing.
Apparently not.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, so there's Tullus. The other thing we should say with him is this idea of continuity and change.
Yeah.
I mean, he could not be more opposite to Numa,
No.
and Numa could not be more opposite to Romulus. So you've got this kind of back. It's like a pendulum, isn't it?
Yeah.
War guy, boring guy. War guy, middling guy, bit boring.
They're just waiting for that perfect person that is the mixture equally of.
Who could that
Who
person
could your
be?
perfect person be, Helen?
Little flush came over
Augustus?
Taylor there.
She has gone all flush, hasn't
She was
she?
talking about a boyfriend and then
It's a sweet.
she's gone red.
Sweets.
It's what sweets? There's no sweets here. Is that what you call him? Augustus, my sweets.
Sweetie pie.
Right, let's move on before she gets carried away. So then we get to Ancus.
Yes.
Um,
Beige 2.0.
well, you're saying that, but there's a strong argument that rather than saying he's just the second dullest man we've covered, you can actually say he's actually one of the most successful Roman kings.
Stops a plague. Does he only have the one war?
Just the one war.
Is that all?
But, I mean, again, because there's not a lot about him, we can assume Rome was relatively stable. There were no crises, no Sabine
that's
women
true.
to steal, no plagues going on.
I was going to ask, because if he's Numa's grandson, is he
Yeah.
a Sabine or is he Roman?
He is his grandson by his daughter, so a little bit of column A, a little bit of column
He's
B.
a mongrel.
Oh my god! Mixed heritage, I think, was
Yeah,
what we like to call
Pull your
people.
punches there, Taylor. God almighty. So yeah, no, you can argue that actually Ancus is quite a successful king because nothing chaotic.
Yeah, there's
happens
nothing,
under his rule.
to talk about.
I mean,
then.
let's. I mean, we're almost harking back for. Do you remember the good old quiet days before all this nonsense happened?
Gosh, yeah.
I'd love a bit of stability and peace and quiet right now. But so yeah, even though he doesn't seem to do much, you can argue he is arguably very successful because the big things he works on are little things.
Yeah.
A bridge, a prison, digs an hole. Yeah, not much going on, so he doesn't have to solve any crises.
But
So
he's
But Ostia is quite an achievement.
Ostia is definitely
That's
achievement.
really important for Rome's kind
But
of
again,
economic success.
It shows that things are going well under Ancus.
Yeah.
They can build a port town.
Well, then, would that not seem like something, because this is Augustus rewriting, or painting over history, would that not seem like something he'd want to draw attention to? If we've not got a lot to talk about him, he's like, oh, no, not look how cool this guy is, who's a mix of like a bit of war and peace, did lots of infrastructure stuff. Why is he just glossed over then? If he
just
was...
because he's a bit boring.
But then that means Augustus is a little bit boring, which he's not.
She'll hear you. She'll hear you.
But he's not.
He's not at all, because he's got the badass side, but then it just kind of morphs and changes, and he covers it up to something else which is balanced and what the public require.
So, the bad boy that appeals to you.
Hidden within the depths. Just ready to spring out at any time.
So yeah, Ancus.
So is that literally the end of him? Did you just have quite a quiet reign and died?
Not quite. There's more to come, but we'll save that for next
Oh, so
time.
he gets half an episode and a bit.
He gets a mention.
Okay.
So there you have it, the transition from Tullus Hostilius to Ancus Marcius. Thank you for listening. We hope this has been useful. Leave us a comment below, and until next time, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.